Yeah, wow. Man, that was tricky, huh? Except, oh, there are people watching. I didn't even know there was anybody watching. I thought I was all by myself. How's it going? Look at all the freaks. Can you believe it? We're actually doing a personal paranormal experiences show. And look at that. That's Lanky Jen, Sam the Schnoz. Yeah, so this channel is finally monetized, if you can believe it. And I added my new little tip jar. It's kind of cool. Like if somebody, you know, contributes, it comes across. I'm going to try to build it where it's kind of better looking now. So the words just don't come out of nowhere. It'll look like it's all part of something. Man. Yeah, the Blazers they played a good game against the Warriors, but at the very end didn't do it. Or at least it didn't look. It was 12 seconds to go, down by 7. Yeah, it took a while to get get this channel where you have to have 4,000 hours of viewing and then over 1,000 subs. Oh yeah? Oh, that's weird. Yeah. How come? Wonder why that's not there. Well, hold on. Let me see if I wonder if. That's interesting. Let me see. I wonder if my bots will work too, because I have something running. I don't know though. Maybe if you type in, let's see what happens if you type in Oogla Boogla. Oh yeah, there you go. So it did. The bot is working. Yeah, I was gonna go check the stream. I don't even know if I had it on. Let's see. Yeah, monetization is able. Let's see, community. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Hold on a second. Just a minute, everybody. Just a minute. I gotta figure something out here. I don't even know how. I didn't know you had to do that. But actually, it's been so long since my other account was set up. Let's see. Okay, now let's see what happens if I shut down the chat and put it back up again. Let's see what happens. Talks amongst yourselves. Alright, let's see. What happens now? Oh, there it is. Okay. So if I pop it out now... Yeah, see, it's there now, right? Do you guys see it or not? I'm just testing it out for future. I'm not saying, hey, put something in. Alright. Oh, cool. Alright, there you go. Alright, so I guess I got it set up. There you go. Huh. Alright, so who's calling in tonight to tell their... You know, everybody's like, oh, I got this story. But here's what I want. When you tell the story, don't just ramble on and go off track. Just tell the story. And if anybody wants to know any of the sort of side information, we'll ask it. All right? Because we've had a few callers lately that, hey, let's see, there you go. And see how it says it at the top, and then it... Yeah, I guess I've seen that on other channels. I just didn't know. I think it's something somewhat new on Streamlabs, but thank you, Amanda Bell. Yeah, and I guess you're up there at the top. I'm not sure what that's saying. That little tiny thing there. I have no idea what that is. All right, but the numbers are on the screen if you want to call up and tell your personal paranormal story. You might want to go out and share it in some groups because there's only 28 people watching. I have a feeling that we aren't going to have very many people that have stories. I think what happened was I didn't do it for like a month, and that became not, you know, YouTube sort of takes you out of the people's recommendations. Thanks, Watcher. Cool. Well, we got one more, 29 now. Obviously, the chat count isn't working. See down there how this the zero that you see at the bottom of the screen is supposed to be how many people have that are watching, and I see more than 0. That thing's never really worked for me. It's not even... I'm just going to have to get rid of it. All right, you guys. It's up to you to call in. Oh, hold on. I gotta do some work. Hey, look at that. Sam Mishnaz. I think he might be beating out whoever that is at the top there. Let's see what this does. Oh, look at that one. Oh! How come that thing didn't make it into the jar? That's crazy. Oh well. I didn't know it did that. I thought they all just kind of made it. Yeah. Well, you got the number. It's a show for you guys to call up and tell your personal paranormal stories. Even the, you know, it seems like a lot of you guys have the sleep paralysis one. Yeah, Lanky Jen is... when are you gonna switch that back, by the way? I think we all miss Lanky Jen. Sam the Schnoz. That's sort of like the big-nosed guy named Sam. Lanky Jen. It seems like somebody that's just lanky named Jen. All right. Hey, Stephanie, how's it going? Sassmere. Yeah, I was told there was all these people that had their stories to... You know what I could do is... How many people... It says how many people are watching? 0? Oh, wow. Okay, 32. There you go. Give you a few more minutes. Are you going to call in and tell a story? Hey, Juju Positive. This is a channel for people to tell their own personal paranormal stories, those one-off moments in life where there's something they can't explain. What does this say? What does that mean, Kevin? I'm going to get rid of that thing. It's like stream boss, whatever that means. I think that's for like gamers or something. Plus, it didn't look good on the screen. There's no green in anywhere else except in that. That's great, Juju. Call in and tell your story. It's not for typing it in. Yeah, when you get away from the store, you call it in. Yeah? What does that mean, awkward occurrences? I don't get it. What does that mean? Awkward occurrences is being awkward. Yeah, it was 4 weeks ago because I actually do true crime YouTube, and that's my main thing, and then I had some training for work and so forth, so I wasn't around awkward occurrences. Thank you for noticing. You're so observant. Yeah. I think the name that person gave themselves is accurate. They're an awkward occurrence of humanity. Always, just kind of coming in and being awkward. Like nobody was interested in what you had to say about how long it's been or anything. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, they have to do an investigation on me because I've been missing from the true crime chat for a month, I guess is what they meant. Who cares? Awkward. Maybe I should play that audio. I think I've got it somewhere. Actually I don't have it open. What do you mean you agree, Ada, with Audra? She didn't state anything as a fact. It was a question. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't know why those are deleted, but Oh, cool, Steph. Yeah, no, she didn't say that. She said, so they're joking, and there's a question mark in the next one, meaning it was a question. It wasn't a statement. You misread it. In the next part. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure it was a joke. What they were saying is that I haven't been here in a month. I'm gonna have to do an investigation on you. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes. What's better to do is when you show up to a live, is just kind of blend in for a little bit. Get a feel for the room, if you will. Coming into a chat and just busting out your zingers right off the get-go. Sometimes nobody knows what the hell you're talking about. Because we're trying to get people to call in to tell their own personal paranormal experience. Let me see something. Maybe I have people waiting already. I don't even know. No. Right? And so what you should do is just wait a little bit and then try to be funny, and then it might actually be funny. No, I'm not banning that person. They didn't really, But they were hard to understand, but I don't think that they were actually trying to be bad, or whatever you want to call it, what term you want to put on it. Claudia Neubauer. Yeah, well, nobody's called in yet, Claudia, so you haven't missed anything. Usually takes a while. I'm not sure if, like, when the show starts, people start pounding down liquor to get the courage to call in, or how it works, but... Yeah, I think it was just misunderstood. Okay, but I mean, it seemed, after I reread it, it seemed pretty obvious, But at the same time, you type in 2 comments in a row that are hard to even understand because we're just kind of trying to work into the show a little bit. It's like everyone else is like just hanging out, talking, trying to figure out what they're going to bring up. Yeah? Which one are you talking about? Juju? Nah, I don't know what you're referring to. Yeah, I haven't heard one, here's the thing, is I'm getting all this crap on other YouTube channels for me. I mean, it's just so ludicrous, but here's the thing, is I haven't heard one person who sent me a video where it sounded like the person who called. Not one. Okay, you all think, oh yeah, this one sounds, but when I play it next to it, doesn't. None of them sound like it. So nobody's got the correct person yet. Okay. Yeah. All right, I'm just going to wait for someone to call in. There'll be a little ding sound when somebody calls in. In the meantime, I'll just be... Yep, we ended up losing by 9. Yes, hit that thumbs up button if you come in. Never mind, Flossie. It's too complicated. It would just create more questions, and you'd have to go to my other channel and listen to videos. Love and living. Yeah, I don't know where awkward occurrences went to. But they're definitely awkward, coming in and just busting out jokes that are not really simple right off the get-go. I understand the confusion that the moderators had, but I wouldn't have hidden or blocked that person for any of the things that they said. I was just going to razz them a little bit. That's it. Because you got to remember, this is a show for you guys. I'm not here to tell you. I've only got like 1 or 2 personal paranormal stories in my entire life. Okay, so you are the people that have to call in and tell your stories. What do you mean? You only timed out? I don't know what that means. Oh, yeah, I mean timed out. I wouldn't have timed out or hidden their comments myself. Like when I was reading them, I was just going to be like, what does that mean? But I don't blame you for doing it. I get how you were, it was a little different, Yeah, but you mean like you, Brock? See, what you're doing, Brock, is you're trying to get blocked by saying something, like that. Okay? You're just being... This is going to be a night of trolls again. Sometimes they do... Most of the time they don't, though, Brock. Okay? It's people like you they probably block often, though. Okay? That come in and... just try to create a little bit of a drama, draw attention to themselves, It's weird. There's awkward occurrence. Yeah, sorry about that. We didn't, I think your comments were misunderstood at the beginning. But, if somebody just messages me, even in the chat, and says, hey, so-and-so got removed for something, I'll put him back in. It's not a big deal. Hey, Sassmare, don't you have some spooky stories? Yeah, wouldn't that be great to have a good time? Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem putting somebody back in there. It's better to be safe than sorry on a live stream, YouTube. Okay, that's just the reality of it. Wow, this is what I was talking about. See, I'm doing these shows for people to call in and tell their stories, but if nobody calls in, then it's like I don't really want to do the shows. I'll just go back to I'll do something else. I'll probably turn the channel into a more of a just general paranormal experiences, and I can talk about anything. I mean, I could actually do lives about a topic. Okay, but I thought it'd be cool. But the problem is if you don't have enough people, varying people every time you do your show, then you're not going to nobody's going to call in because they already told their story on the one before. I don't really want people that have 10, 15 paranormal experiences, because it's like, oh boy. All right. I'm really sort of looking for the ones that have 1 or 2. Those crazy moments in their life that they can't explain. Dun, dun. Okay, call in. Let's see if it works. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Gray. This is Alexis from New Jersey.
Oh, Alexis from New Jersey. All right. What's going on?
I was just calling, I guess, to tell you about one of my paranormal experiences that stuck with me throughout my whole life.
Oh yeah. Okay, hold on. I got to put these
All
other
right,
people.
so
What's your? Are you 5'6"? Hold on. Are you 5'6"?
I'm sorry?
Are you 5'6"? What's your digits on here?
I'm sorry?
What's your number? The first 3 digits of your phone number? Because somebody else called in and I want to mute them.
908 or 415.
Okay, hold on. All right, go ahead. I just want to put them on
I'm
mute.
a little nervous.
Oh, go ahead. I just put them on mute.
Okay, so basically, when I was 9 years old, my father passed away. And he was sick for quite some time before that. It was about 3 days after he passed away, and I was sleeping with my mom in her room. And it must have been maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up for no reason. I just woke up in the middle of the night, and I sat up, and I saw just this black shadow figure, like one of those shadow beings. And it was standing at the foot of my bed, just like, I didn't see eyes or anything. It was just all black, just like a black mass of a person. And it was staring down at me, but I didn't see eyes or anything. And I got so scared, I went under the covers, and I didn't move like the whole night. And the next morning, I remember my uncle was sleeping on the couch, and it's a real Italian family, you know. So the next morning I woke up and I told my family about it, and my uncle's like, "You saw God," you know, and I'm like, "No, it wasn't God," you know. And I don't think, it's always stuck with me because I don't think it was my father. I don't think he would come back. Like, I didn't get that feeling like it was like, I've had other experiences where I've lost people close to me and I've had dreams about them, and they were like nice and kind of like comforting, and this wasn't that way. It was terrifying, and it just stuck with me my whole life. So that's my story.
Well, there you go. See, that's one of those things that you experience and nobody can tell you you didn't, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
see, if people will go,
I'll let you get back to other callers. I'm like nervous. Okay. I'll let you go. Thank you, Greg.
Okay, thanks for calling in. All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, 562, you're on the air.
Hello, I'm 5'6".
You're 5 foot and 6'2"? No, what do you? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm just okay. Go ahead and tell your story.
All right, I'm calling in today because I want to share a story of something that to this day I still can't explain what happened. I have no idea. All I know is I was around 9 years old, between 8 and 9, and I was at a young kids club. And the kids club had a swimming pool there. Everybody was in their swimming suits, and they were jumping in the pool and having a great time. And I didn't have my bathing suit, and I wanted to go swimming. So my brother and sister were there swimming, and I said, I'm going to go walk down to Grandma's house. I'm going to get my bathing suit, and I want to come back. So I took off, and I went walking down the street. It wasn't very far away, but, you know, when you're a kid, your steps are a lot smaller. So it seemed like it was taking a while. And I remember I was walking by this big, huge building. It was Mead's Fine Bread, a company making bread. You could just smell the bread baking, and it was a tall building with little green tiles. I remember seeing the shiny tiles as I was walking by. And I don't know what in the world could have possibly happened. But the next thing you know, I'm in a car. I'm laying across somebody's lap, and they're fanning me off, like trying to cool me off. And I wasn't very conscious. You could say I was half in and out of consciousness. And I think they were trying to get me to say where I lived. I don't remember saying where I lived, but apparently I gave them my grandmother's address where to take me, and they apparently knew how to get there. Because the next thing I knew, we were there, and they let me get out of the car. I got out of the car, and I could barely walk to knock on my grandmother's door. And my grandfather opened the door to their place. It was a small place, like a apartment place. And he let me come in the door, and all I know is there was a love seat on the right-hand side of the room, and I went to the love seat, and then I was out. And the next thing I know, I was in the hospital. And I woke up, I'm like, why am I in the hospital? And they're trying to figure out what happened to me, because nobody knew what could have possibly happened to me, why I was unconscious. All I knew is on the very top of my head, I did have a bump on the very top of my head. I don't know what it could have come from. And I still don't know to this day what could have happened. But just kind of a bizarre kind of thing.
Wow. See what I'm saying, everybody? Everybody has those weird things that nobody, you can't really explain them to anybody. What do you think happened?
Never,
what do you think happened?
Well, the only thing I was thinking, because the last place I was at was at the Mead's Fine Bread building that I can remember. Maybe something fell off the roof. I was on the sidewalk. I wasn't in the street. And some nice people decided to give me a ride, pick me up, put me in the car, and say, "Hey, where do you live? Where's your house? Where do you live?" I don't even know.
So you don't remember? You don't remember ever like like all of a sudden you were just really out of it, basically.
I don't know what happened. I can't begin to even try to gather what could have possibly. I mean, because I don't think I'll ever know unless I don't know how I'll ever find out, or if I ever will find out. But that's just part of who I am. It's part of what happened to me and my experience. It's a different experience. Yeah. It's not exactly paranormal, but it's... Well,
it is, because it's not normal. That's what that means.
Right, yeah.
It just means, like...
Yeah, so I guess, it's something I'll never be able to explain what it could have possibly happened to me, and I just thought that was really bizarre. I wish I could explain it. I wish I knew, something fell off the roof of the top. It was a real tall building. I just remember seeing, the green and the shiny. I remember that's the last cognitive reasoning that I had in my mind, is how beautiful and shiny it is, looking at the building. But I was walking down the sidewalk, and there was nothing like in front of me to impede me to maybe knock over or fall down, or I don't know. I have no idea what could have happened to me.
I mean, so nothing after that? There was no, follow-ups?
No, I went into the hospital, and, they put me in there, and they wouldn't release me, I'm sure, unless I was fine. And the funny thing, too, is my mom worked in the hospital. She was a nurse. So she just happened to come in and check on me. And I was like, when I was waking up, I'm like, what am I doing here? She was like, what are you doing here? What happened?
Jeez.
And so I said, I don't know. I can't tell you, Mom. I have no idea.
Like there was no bump on your head or anything, huh? Nothing.
There was like a bump on the very top of my head. I just remember that there was a bump on the very top of my head. It wasn't like it didn't like break the skin or anything. It wasn't bleeding. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's like
that.
it wasn't big enough to do something like what you're talking about.
Yeah, but apparently it was strong enough to make me lose my consciousness. You know, it must have some kind of blow. I mean, how else could you explain it? You know, it's not like a car came over and hit me. I don't know.
But nobody knows what it was, so right? Like nobody said, "Oh, wow, this thing." Yeah, so that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and the people who apparently were kind enough to try to cool me off. I remember the lady had like a paper and she was fanning me and trying to cool me off. You know, it's in El Paso in Texas, so it gets really hot over there. It's like hot weather, and it was during the summer, you know, because it was like the camp, you know, kids camp kind of thing, and everybody's swimming, and I was just going to go get my bathing suit. I was going to my grandma's house to get my bathing suit, and then this thing happened, whatever that was, and so I just I don't know. I still can't explain. I just told my mom I have no idea. I was just walking down the street, and those people that dropped me off, they didn't stop. They didn't say, "Hey, you know, we found her." They just left. They left, and I knocked on the door. I remember knocking on the door to my grandmother's house, and my grandfather answered the door, and then I couldn't speak to him. I don't even remember saying hi, Grandpa. I don't remember saying anything. I just saw that the love seat was over to the right, and I just headed to the right, and I laid on the love seat, and I don't even know. I was out.
Yeah, wow.
I don't remember even getting to the hospital. I don't remember how I got to the hospital. I don't remember anything up until the minute I just woke up, and I was already in a hospital gown. Why am I wearing a hospital gown?
Yeah. You know, I remember one time when I went to the University of Oregon, I was riding on a bike, and the front tire slipped on a manhole, and I didn't have a helmet on back then. Nobody ever did that. My head just went bang right on the cement, and it was weird because right at the time I didn't even know where the hell I was. You know, but it seems like it's weird. My brain is now filled in what I was doing. I was just getting a haircut, and then my face hit the ground, and somebody had to walk me all the way to the hospital, and I was really. It definitely was a concussion for sure, but your sort of sounds different because you don't remember later. Like mine, I remember everything. Later on, it kind of all came back. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you know, one time my brother, he was riding his bike, and we were always told don't race your bikes down the street. But we're kids, we race the bikes, so we're racing as fast as we can. All of a sudden, my brother's tire goes flying out, and he was going really pretty fast. So the spokes, or those little two pieces of metal that hold the tire in place, they dug into the street. He went forward, and he smashed his forehead right on the asphalt of the street.
Yeah.
And he was 3 years younger than me, and I was young, so like he must have been, I don't know, 6, 7. And I'm like, Richard, are you okay? And he was like, he stood up, and then he could barely stand up. He was real shooken up because he went bam, like face first, right. His forehead went right against the asphalt really hard.
Jeez, yeah.
And then I got him up and started walking him back, and there was a little girl, and she was outside the house, and she might have saw everything that happened. But I told him, I said, don't cry, Richard. There's a little girl over there. She's going to see you crying. She's going to watch you cry. So don't cry. Let's go back to the house. We walked back to the house, and then my stepmom was there, and we put him in the room, and they're saying, don't let him go to sleep. Don't let him go to sleep. And all of a sudden, underneath his eyes, he started getting black eyes, 2 black eyes. It was that bad. That's how hard he hit the ground. I'll never forget that. Never forget that. It was like a real severe blow to him, to his head.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You had your paranormal experience.
Stuff happens that way. All right. Well, it was good talking with you. Thank you
too.
for having this show.
All right.
You're always
Thanks.
great.
All right, thanks.
Okay,
Appreciate
good night.
it. All right, bye.
Bye.
All right. There was somebody that was on hold, but they left. I don't know who that was. Maybe that was Audra. So now there's nobody on hold right now. So if anybody has their story, the lines are open. The wild card line is open, and the West of the Rockies line. Now, east of the Rockies, not so much. Hopefully my new chair is coming soon. This thing's driving me nuts now. You're not supposed to be sitting in a chair and have your ass hurt in like 5 minutes. It's almost like it collapsed on itself and now there's no padding whatsoever. Oh, here's somebody. All right, 778, you're on the air.
Hello, Gray. This is Bow Wow Fraze.
Who? I don't know what that
Bow
means.
Wow?
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah. What do you mean by Bow Wow Fraze, though? You're
That's
still doing.
my name.
Oh, I don't see you in the chat. So you got the whole Patrick Frazee thing going on? Oh God, Jesus.
Well, what it was on Oni's channel, there was some lady that called herself Old Ma Fraze.
Yeah.
And then there was somebody that called themselves, this is private property and a private road. So I came up with being Patrick Frazee's dog.
Oh.
And so I tried to change it, and it won't let me change it.
Huh.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay. Well, what's your story?
So
What's your story?
I have a couple stories.
Well, just tell one. Save one for another time.
Okay. This is a good one.
Okay.
I went to Egypt when I was in my 20s, and I was in the hotel room after, a very long flight, had jet lag. And I was lying on the bed, and the windows were open.
Do you know where you were in Egypt?
Cairo.
I mean, where were you laying on a bed in Cairo? I'm going to put it on the map. Do you know what the name of the hotel was? You don't happen to remember? I'm just trying to put it on. It's kind of cool just to look at it when you're talking.
Oh, it was Presidente or something like that.
Okay.
Well, anyway, yeah.
So go ahead.
So all of a sudden, I was up above, floating above my body, and I looked down and I said, "Who is that?" I didn't really recognize. And then I was still floating around, and I felt very light and free. And I wanted to go out the windows, but I was too afraid. So I just stayed around in the room. And then, however long later, I felt myself just have this huge jolt. Like, when you're just about falling asleep and then you wake up and it's like, ugh. So it was like that. And then I woke up.
Wow.
It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I think I found it. President Hotel. Is that right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Right, because it's kind of like on an island-ish, like the river goes around it, Like there's a whole...
Yeah.
Like, almost like, Manhattan. It's like there's literally water that goes all the way around and bridges that cross onto it. So...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I've got it on the
I
screen,
can't.
but... Yeah, wow. It's
On
weird.
the map?
I got the map on the screen. What's crazy is how dense the housing is. Like, how would you even find your house? Like you look at some of these areas, and they're just everybody's packed in on top of each other. I have no clue how they would find their house.
15 million people in Cairo itself, if not more.
How many?
16 million, I was told.
Jeez, that's crazy.
I know. There are people everywhere. It's so loud, and it's just,
Yeah,
But
it's insane. So
yeah,
you actually were hovering above yourself in that hotel.
Yes.
What do you think? What do you think was going on there? Like you literally.
Well, a lot of these experiences have to do with our brain and the biological processes that go on. Like, it could be because of the jet lag, and I've never had jet lag before.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is there's people that have that same experience, and they see things in the room, and then other people verify that those things were in existence, but they weren't awake. So like, how did they see those things?
Yes.
Like in the hospital. Like sometimes in the hospital, somebody's being operated on, they're totally out, and then they float above themselves and they see all the different procedures and everything going on, and at the end they said, "Oh yeah, no, I saw you do this and this," and then they're like, "How the hell did you see that?" The doctor.
Yeah.
So maybe you were seeing, when you were floating. What were you seeing when you were floating up in the air?
Well, my body, and then I was seeing things outside the window, like the city and all the sounds and the lights and the smells even.
Yeah, and so had anybody else came in, you might have been able to verify with them, like, hey, what was weird is I was sleeping, but I saw you come in. And they'd say, whoa, right? But nobody came in, but it sounds like you had one of the typical out-of-body experiences that other people have.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
We don't even have to have a technical...
myself, right? So no one could...
Right, but that's okay. Here's how you know your story is real, is it's not like, oh my God, there's not all these invented parts that make it... and then this ghost came around the corner while I was in the out-of-body experience, and then this other, it's just sort of, there's really, it's just a classic out-of-body experience that you're just explaining. It just happened to be in Cairo,
I know.
So
but
there
now
you go.
I wish that I had gone and flown out the window.
Yeah, that's the funny thing is it gets, I think you can get kind of tripped out though. Like what if you wake up and you're 1,000 feet off the ground? I used to have when I was a kid those dreams where you're falling and then you sort of wake up before you hit the ground. Yeah. But I don't have those anymore. It's weird.
Someone told me that that's your spirit re-entering your body.
Yeah, I guess it could be anything, really. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was having an out-of-body experience, and then I came back into it, and you wake up like, oh! Right? Like you're tripped out. Yeah, so it's, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of it like that. All right. Well, what is it? What was it again? Bow wow crazy.
Bow wow, as in barking.
Right. Okay, all right. Well, when your 3 months is up, make sure to put it back, all right? Okay. When your 90 days is up, make sure you put it back to whatever it was. So you're not so you're not stuck on with Frazee in your name for the rest of your
No, it was just a joke, and I didn't realize I couldn't change it.
Yeah, you have to wait 90 days. That's what I'm saying. So you can change it. It just takes a while. But yeah, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Anyway,
I'm just goofing around. All right. There you go, everybody. That's Bow Wow Frazee. All right. Or Frazee. Excuse me. I didn't say it right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Have a good one. Thanks for calling in. All right. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. And so now I'm unmuting 405. You're on the air. Wait, hold on.
Well, hi.
Now you are. Sorry, it didn't engage when I unmuted you. Now you are unmuted, so how's it going? Hello.
It's Audra.
Oh, it's Audra. Audra Blankenship. Well, what's your story?
All right.
Is this a new one? Something we haven't heard before? I know you lived in a kind of a crazy house for a while.
Teenager. This is when I was a teenager. We moved into a neighborhood that had
Oh, you're kind of breaking up a little bit.
cheaper house.
Uh-huh. Yeah, your audio is really... Well, yeah, your audio sounds really. You should just call on your phone number. Did you call in through Skype or like?
No, I just have my cell phone.
That's better. Okay, that's better. That's better now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we moved into a cheaper neighborhood when I was a teenager, my brother and I, and we moved there and we got broken into, and all of our things got stolen, and we had moved here from Oklahoma, and they stole some really crazy stuff along with, good stuff, but we had a special edition Monopoly game, all of our board games and stuff they stole, and it was just like some weird stuff. They stole a bunch of weird stuff. But my brother was, so we reported it, and they came and they took fingerprints and they made a report and everything. And it was about maybe 2 days later, my brother was walking around the neighborhood, and he looked in the back of this guy's car window, and he notices that there's a Monopoly game that's a Louisiana edition, like statehood celebration edition game.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's weird. Being in Oklahoma, and he's like, that's really strange. And he starts kind of looking, and he notices a few more things that are distinctly ours, So he comes back home, because this was in the 80s, so no cell phone. Comes back home and calls the police, and he tells my mom, and my mom calls the police. And so they come over and take a report, and they go over there, and just coincidentally, my brother walked by the person's car who robbed our house. And not only that, they had been robbing the Sears stores and a whole lot of other people that lived around that area. So it broke up like a thievery ring from him finding our stupid Monopoly board game. And we got all our stuff back.
Wow, what are the odds of that?
I have no idea. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a pretty interesting little crime crossover.
That is.
And then I have one more, and it's kind of similar, but it's a little bit different because I'll just tell it. We moved from that house right after that happened because, we didn't want to get broken into over there.
No, hold on.
But we just moved into an apartment complex.
Does this work? I didn't even know that was working. Hold on. Somebody donated on Streamlabs. No, hold on. Somebody donated on Streamlabs. Oh, cool.
A great person with a pure heart and a lot of good laughs.
Thanks. All right, go ahead. So say this one again. It was going over your voice. You probably couldn't hear it, but maybe you could. I don't know.
No, I heard it.
Oh, cool.
I did hear it.
Oh, neat.
I was just going to let you know I heard it. Hang on, let me take a little drink.
Like a real drink?
No. Too much medicine in my system right now. Okay. We moved to an apartment complex right after that. And I rode the bus, and my brother was out of school. He's 7 years older than me, and I think I was in ninth grade or so. And he had a 1987 Buick Regal. It was white. It had the blue interior. It was really nice. He loved that car, right? And he worked at Burger King across the street and paid for his own car. And one day when we got picked up by the bus, it was like a substitute bus driver. And we were driving around, and the kids were telling her the wrong way to go. She was getting confused and lost, and she just got all turned around. So she had backed into this mailbox and knocked it over. And so we got to be really late to school because we were being really bratty on the school bus and harassing this poor substitute bus driver and wanting to be late to school, basically, so he could, not have to be there on time. But anyway, we get to school, and we all kind of get dressed down for making that lady. Yeah, we were bad. And I got called to the principal's office, and I thought I was going to be in trouble for, basically bullying the bus driver into backing into the wrong area and telling her the wrong way to go. Well, that's not what happened. There was a policeman in the office, and he said, he sat down. They sat down with me, and my mom was in the office as well. And I guess that my brother's car had been stolen, and they wanted to know if I had seen anything when I left the for school that morning. And I don't remember seeing his car or not at home. And I just sat there for a second, and I realized that I had seen it on this misguided route that we had taken the substitute bus driver down. And I had seen it on the corner of the road right as she was really getting mad at us. So I didn't realize it until they called me into the office that was his car, but I had noticed it kind of in my subconscious, I guess. And it was just the weirdest thing. I was like, but, because after I was like, no, I didn't notice it or anything, and I was just kind of like relieved that I wasn't getting in trouble. But I just told him it could have been that. I guess it could have been. It looked like my brother's car. And the funny thing was, there was a guy that was getting into the door whenever we passed by it. And he was in a suit, so that was kind of weird in context to having it stolen. But anyway, my brother got his car back. It was my brother's car. And what had happened was somebody stole it and had parked it in front of somebody's house. They took the stereo out. They took all the stuff that was in it. And that guy who was getting in his glove box was the owner of the home. But it was just this weird, subconscious memory that that's where it was. And I didn't know the street or anything that we were on. They had to contact the bus driver to see where it was that we had pulled out of that neighborhood. So if we wouldn't have done that, if we wouldn't have harassed her and made her go the wrong way and she hit the mailbox, it probably wouldn't have even happened. I wouldn't have seen it. So it was just like another weird.
Wow, you got some.
I know.
Synchronicity or something. Who knows?
Synchronicity, yeah. Yeah.
That's one of Ada's favorite words. That was kind of like the synchronicity. I thought that was sort of weird, the whole thing that I just had with the DNA Doe project. Because I'm talking to Wendy Kipple about the, I guess they call him Sky Shoots Unidentified, or, we say Peak 6, But anyways, and she happened to be, and then she worked on the Annette Schnee and Bobby Joe Oberholzer case, too. And then, just randomly, my two other podcasts, John Lorden and Morph messaged me first and said, hey, have you ever thought of talking to, the Colleen Fitzpatrick? She runs the DNA Doe Project. So I just called her up, left her a message, and somehow, she just called me. I mean, I didn't realize I was talking to some legend, right? But, we just talked for like 30 minutes, and it turns out she's been working on the Oberholzer Schnee case for a long time. And then when I was talking to Wendy, she said, wow, yeah, I'd like to work with them. I feel so comfortable. And it just sort of all fit together. It was bizarre. And now I've been looking into that, and it's crazy. They've done so much work, they just don't get any publicity for it. So I just thought it was a weird synchronicity moment where it was just weird. Like, she already knew who she was and everything. Just I don't know.
It's almost like to me, it's almost like it was like this, momentum was building. Like, you had a little spark of, like, this is something that's going to be good, and I want to do this, and like this energy and momentum builds up, and it's going to be, it's going to be even more. It's all going to work out, and it's going to be helpful, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, I never
So
heard
just
back
just
from,
convince 'em.
like, I didn't hear back again during the week from, but I know she had 4 new cases coming in from Wendy, so I'll check in
Yeah.
with her
Yeah.
next week, in the beginning of the week. But the money's just sitting there, and as soon as they need it, that's going right there.
There you go. There
Yeah.
you go. And now you have another avenue of crime to look into and to help with, and that's all.
Oh yeah, it's so interesting too, because
a
they
good
really
thing.
have details on
Yeah.
these things. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So it's almost like they just need one more piece of the puzzle, you know.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thanks for your stories. All right. Audra
we're
Blankenshire.
All right, y'all have a good evening.
Oh yeah, you too. Have a good one.
Bye.
Right. Oh, I almost hit the end meeting button. Oh, there was somebody there, but now there's not there. Lines are all open, everybody. There was somebody there, but now they're not there. I should play her music in the background. It fits on this channel. You can probably hear the dishwasher going in the background. Sorry about that. Hey, what was that one guy that would call all the time? He called a few different times in a row. I know it wasn't George, but I can't remember his name now. Yeah, Lou? Yeah, it's okay, Lou. I should do a show on this channel sometime on the Roswell incident. I'm thinking of changing the name to Paranormal Experiences. Then people can tell their stories, or I can tell other people's stories. And that way it's not like always... I thought it could work like that, but you literally have to have like hundreds and hundreds of people on here. Right? And there's so many interesting stories that are already out there that you could tell. So I might do something like that. You know, do it the same way too. Map it all out. By the way, who sent that Streamlabs donation? Was that Amanda? I went by and I was trying to figure out what screen it was on. I missed it. Yeah. Don's waiting. He's going to be waiting his whole life for something paranormal to happen to him. All right, here we go. Oh, so it was Kelly? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. It goes to my other account too, so I'm not logged in. This channel's got its own YouTube. Let's see. All right. So looks like 928. You're on the air, 928. Hello?
Sassmere.
Sassmere.
Yeah.
Not nightmare, but a sassmere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, I've heard a lot of people say that animals don't have souls.
Yeah, I think they have some. But hey, definitely, I think Blue does for sure. Okay, so he has more of a soul than some humans that I've seen. Okay, right, Blue?
Well,
Right.
I was just wondering, what your opinion is on that.
I'm not really sure. I mean, what's weird for me is, everybody's different, right? Even identical twins are different. So what makes them different, I think, I don't know. I've always said that there was like a soul that everybody experiences things in life for this larger thing, and then I don't believe I don't think there's hell and heaven and all that kind of stuff. It seems like there's just sort of this place that everybody joins in.
I'm like you. This is like purgatory.
Yeah, I mean, because you could look at it like this. Some of these barbarians out there, the evil people, some of them probably just had shitty lives. They're just absolutely these monsters. So it wasn't them living the hell. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
And then they created hell for people that they killed. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's sort of what I think about it. Why can't you hear well, Lanky Jen? Here's what you do. Turn up the volume. Boom!
Me?
No. Lanky Jen said, I can't hear well. So I said, yeah, well, turn up the volume.
Because I'm trying not to be right in the phone. I don't know. I've always heard people say that animals don't have souls, but I think they do. I really do, because if you look at Sassy's picture in my that little picture I've got beside of my name, if you look at it, it's got a teardrop on her nose.
Yeah.
And she was born about the same time that I had to put my...
What level of animal does it stop at? A soul. Does a mouse have one? How about
I think they all have souls.
Okay, how about a worm?
That's not an animal.
Well, I think it's a living organism, right? How about, but that's what I'm saying, like, when does it stop? Like, where is how about a crab? Hell, those things were moving around. Like, you just mammals, maybe?
There. That's like I'm saying. Because I think that Sassy has a soul.
Yeah.
I think
well, the thing is, you can tell. Yeah, I mean, they're, what's weird is I've had other dogs where I wasn't sure. Because they just seem like just blah, But Blue's got so much personality. He'll literally grab a toy and then run up and throw it at your face. Like if I'm hanging on my inversion table, he'll run up with this little hedgehog toy and throw it at my face, right? And then I grab it, and then he'll let me throw it one time, then he runs back, and then all he does is bounce the toy off my face, and then I try to grab it, and he's away too quick. It's like literally he's playing around with me. It's not. I'm not playing with him. He's messing around with me. You see what I'm saying? That's a whole different level there.
Directing your attention.
Yeah, he's just he's a whole different level there. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you that Blue. I think Blue has a soul.
Thinking about what you're thinking about.
Yeah, well, I'm just on my inversion table. It doesn't hurt or anything. He just knows that I'm vulnerable and can get away with crap. It's really weird, Like if you throw something. If you're on the ground and you're playing with him and you throw it, and he brings it back. He'll let you throw it the first time, and he'll bring the toy up. He'll let you grab it, and then he'll let you throw it. Then after that, it's all about him not letting you grab it unless you really go drop it. And then he'll drop it, but he'll growl while he's dropping it, and then you throw it again, and he just takes off and goes and gets it. He's just really excited about it. I mean, I got to film him doing some of this stuff. It's weird. Paranormal, if you will.
Well, I don't know if it's paranormal, but I definitely...
Well, he's not normal to me. He's not normal to me. I'll tell you what, I've had other dogs. They just sit around and eat. That's it. That's not what he does. Although when you do have a plate of food, he gets excited about it. He thinks he's going to get some, But that's all I got.
Yeah, you asked if I had stories. Yeah, I do, but they're so small.
Well, tell one of the
know,
small ones. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
a small one.
Yeah.
Well, the main one that I remember that was more than just me around was we was all standing at the nurse's desk at in the nursing home, right? And somebody had died, and all of us saw a looked like ghost, I guess, walked across the hall.
And?
But we all saw it. We was all like, did you see that? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, oh my God. You know, because,
Yeah, so what did it do when you saw it?
we all took off down the hall. And there was nothing there.
So it was all witnessed by multiple people.
Yeah.
Well, what would it look like?
It looked like a man walking across the hall. But there was no man when we got down there.
Oh. Weird. Yeah. So what did you guys all do after that?
Thanking God that we was getting ready to go home.
All right. Well,
it was like,
there you go. You got your ghost story in, and we figured out that dogs have souls, or animals. Some animals. I don't know. I guess if one has one, they all got one. But anyways, looks like another caller is called in, and they're on hold here, so I'm gonna get that one. But
I thought I'd give you a call.
But yeah, well, cool. I like your accent, by the way.
Love your channel.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here. I always like seeing you in the chats. All right, thank you.
I try to be here all the time, but if I'm working, I can't be.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
All right. 310, you're on the air.
Hi, Gray. It's Mag.
It's Mag. Are you the one that bails me out of jail all the time?
Yes.
Well, thanks.
How are you doing tonight?
Hey, pretty good, pretty good. How about you?
Well, since I'm doing good, thanks.
Yeah.
Since you guys were talking about animals, I thought I'd call in. We had a dog that we saved from the pounds when I was little, and had her for 16 plus years. And she ruled the house, and she passed away. And years after she passed away, we would hear her paws running around the house for years and years and years. It was the strangest.
Like you didn't even have a dog. You didn't even have a dog at the time, right? Like you just heard paws running around.
Right. No other animals. Right. And she had passed, and no other animals in the house, and you'd hear her her little feet running around every so often, especially wherever my mom went, because she got really close with my mom.
Wow.
So I think they do. I think they do have a connection or something with certain people.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something there. They're almost. It's weird, some of the sensing they have. You know how, like, if you put a dog like 2,000 miles away and they can somehow make their way home. You know?
Yeah.
Like, how do they do that?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not, oh, well, they got a great sense of smell, Gray. No, it's not what it is. There's something else there. Okay. Yes, they have a great sense of smell, but it's not like you have 2,000 miles away they can sense, get a smell. You know? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I've read stories where dogs have, people have moved and they've lost their dogs, and they somehow find them years later. It's amazing.
Yeah.
the dogs make their way to the new home. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's just, and they're probably like, dang it, we tried to leave you out on the road.
Yeah.
But you made it.
And
Wow.
I have another little one that I lost my niece 13 years ago in a car accident. She was 16. And my
sorry about
sister
that.
started this nonprofit called Rita's Rainbows. And we were just up at her house because she passed on April 2nd. And we usually go to this restaurant. And all the money they make, they donate to my sister's charity that she started in my niece's name, called It's Rita's Rainbows. And it just so happened that day it was kind of cloudy and everything, and when we got to the restaurant it started to sprinkle a little bit, and then as we're walking in the door we look up and there's this rainbow that just shows up, and it is going right into the roof of the restaurant where we're about to walk in. And it was just it was just weird.
Yeah, you just kind of
thought,
knew.
oh, she's there with us.
And the reason you were going to the restaurant was what? I was looking at something. What was the reason?
It's the owners are friends of my sister's, and then they raise money
Oh, wow.
that day to
Yeah, there you
yeah.
go.
So
Yeah.
we go in.
I heard that
there.
part. Huh. Yeah, so, well, that's a little bit like my, my balloon thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sort of a similar,
Yeah.
like you're doing something related to the person who passed away, and then something so significant just shows up right there, I like
Right.
those. Those
And
ones
you
are
just,
cool.
Yeah, you see it, and you just know in your gut that they're right there with you,
Yeah, I mean, what are the
or
odds
looking
of
at
that?
you, or
Yeah, exactly. Huh.
yeah.
I like it. Good one.
That's it. So I thought I'd call and let you guys know.
Well, thanks. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. See, I actually like those. Sometimes some of the ones that get a little too elaborate, you start going, yeah, okay. It sounds like you watched a little too much Stephen King or something. I like the ones that are just, you can tell they're genuine. Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
Some people, like, if you have, I always say if you have too many, if you're somebody who goes, oh God, I got 100, I've got 50 of them. Well, then, you're actually not who I'm looking for. I'm looking for the ones that have those, of course, if you live in a house that is haunted, you're going to have a whole bunch of things going on. So you could have one story about, this one night this happened, and this happened this other night.
Yeah.
But if you're one of those people that has like hundreds of completely different things, then I start to wonder about your sanity at that point. Okay, really, what it comes what it comes down to is just how many, just it's those one-off things that people have happened to them that they've never been able to explain, and it's something that's always been on their mind their entire life. Right.
Yeah, it never goes away. You always remember it very clearly too.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people have more than one. I mean, I have a couple thing, like maybe 2 or 3 throughout my entire life, but
Yeah.
and some I don't remember, but I know that there's more things, but there's just a couple that I remember clearly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's when I think they really are there with you. The ones that really, because I believe they're always with us, but the ones where you can really, you can, where you were, everything, you could feel it, just that same moment that it happened right now with you, that you know that they were there, and they're just really letting you know that they're there.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of that. I mean, what's strange about like when my brother died, he was such a great person. Like, he's one of those people that if you're in a room and there's a whole bunch of people, it was always way better if he was there. Like one of those guys that just makes the whole room better. And so that's what he was like. But there's so many people that even I have one friend that's really logical, and he had these weird dreams with him. And I had this one weird thing as I went to sleep that night, weirdly, in my dorm. Hey, thanks, Sam the Schnoz. I went to sleep in my dorm, and somebody, in the dream, my brother, Garrett, he came up to me and he said, "Hey, I've got a couple Blazer tickets for you. I just can't use them anymore because, he's not alive, really, basically." Mm-hmm. And so the next day, we drove home, and my dad walks out the door and goes, "Hey, here's 2 Blazer tickets that I got for you and Garrett, but why don't you and Grant go?"
Wow.
Yeah, it was weird. That was the next day when I drove home, right? So I had those, and then you have people like one of his girlfriends. He had 4 ex-girlfriends at his wedding. I mean, at his funeral, I mean. Don't you think that's crazy? Like, at his funeral, there's 4 ex-girlfriends. Like, none of them didn't like him. I don't think there's one that, I have a couple that I still could be friends with, but, in general, you break up and it's, but they all liked him, and one of them, the one he was seeing at the end, she was there, and she kind of looked up between 2 trees in a plane, right then flew by and put the little sign that said "smile," the wording with the clouds, and said "smile" right there, right through these little trees that she was looking through. Yeah, there's all these weird ones that they all say,
There are certain people in this world that really leave marks with everyone they're around.
Yeah.
And it sounds like your brother was one. My niece was one. Where, there wasn't one person who didn't like her. And still to this day, people just rave about her, and she really left her mark on people.
Yeah, it's weird how sometimes those people, they die before everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of sucks.
I don't understand it, but, I don't understand it, but
what do you think of this? This is weird. These are some of the weird things. See, my mom was really, and my brother were both into these 2 cartoons. I don't remember if it was For Better or For Worse, and then there was another one. I can't remember. But it was so strange. Like, she cut these cartoons out. I never really believed her until I saw them, that she cut them out. They came out right when he died. His name was Garrett Hughes. And one of the cartoons was somebody knocking on a door, and then the people inside the house opened the door, and then the people outside said, what was it? They said, somebody goes, "Who keeps knocking on my door?" And then it was like Mr. and Mrs. Death or something. Then they asked I can't remember exactly, but it was something like, Mr. and Mrs. Death was at the door, and the person inside said, why do you keep knocking on my door? And then they said, "Well, we just wanted to see if you had any clothes with the initials GH." It's like, what the hell did that even mean?
Wow.
But it wasn't even funny, right? But there's no humor value to it. But it was like it completely related to what that was one of his favorite cartoons, and then it was absolutely crazy. I don't know.
That's really weird. Yeah, how do you explain that? That's weird, really weird.
Yeah, but somebody made the cartoon. You'd almost have to say, "Well, hey, why did you make that cartoon? What was funny about it?" And
right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. There was another one too. I just can't remember.
A cartoon made to be funny, or some of those cartoons that make you think? That.
Well, normally it was funny.
I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Normally it was funny, but it just, there was never anything funny about this one. It just was weird. That's it. So.
Yeah. I don't know. That's bizarre. That's
yeah, it's crazy.
Bizarre.
Well, I'm sorry about your niece. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about.
Thank you. Yeah. She's in a better place, I guess. So. But it was just very interesting, and things like that, they do happen, and I know they happen with many people all the time. It's whether you kind of pay attention to it and, watch your show and call in and tell people. So, well, thanks for letting me call in.
Well, thanks for calling in.
Alrighty.
Was that your first time calling in? I don't remember after all the other shows. But.
No, I called I don't. A couple weeks ago, I called about the pictures that would slide down the wall and go across the floor, and the record player that was playing in the middle of the night, and in Bennett Canyon.
Oh, that was a while. That was my last show was 3/1, so it's been a month and 4 days.
Okay.
But we're back on the air now. All right. Well, hey, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Okay. Everyone have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right. So I'm now unmuting 864. Are you there, 864?
Hello.
Hey. Who's this?
Hi, this is Stephanie
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Kelly.
Stephanie Kelly.
Yeah. I was calling to tell you I've never spoke of this to no one. Never. And it's kind of emotional, but I finally wanted to tell somebody. My mother, she passed away when I was 13 by a drunk driver. And make a long story short, my father didn't want me, so we grow up, I'm 18. I'm leaving work one night, and I live out in the country then. And I'm going down this old 2-lane highway. No lights, no nothing around me. And she had been on my mind all day long, all evening long, and on my ride home, she had really been working me hard.
Who is it? Who is this? Who is the?
My mom.
Oh, your mom. Okay.
Yeah. And so when I get up to where I need to bear off to my left to make my left, I'll bear off, and then out of the blue, I notice there's a car behind me. And I had this was my favorite car back then. I had the long, solid sheet of glass. It was a Pinto.
Oh boy, Pinto.
Yeah.
Was it green?
With just a hope. No, it was kind of like tan butterscotch or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was the car of my dreams anyway. I was driving that old ugly thing, and I froze. Right there, I froze because, I mean, it's after midnight, and I can see this woman's face. And it was just like somebody put a light right up under her chin.
But what do you mean? Like, I think
up.
you skipped a spot. So you were in the car. Did somebody jump out in front of you or something, or what?
No. I'm in my car headed home from work. And as I bared off to the left to come to the stop sign, to where I'll make a full left turn to get on the road that my house is on, a car comes up behind me. And just out of nowhere, I didn't see no cars nowhere. I mean, we're talking after midnight out in the middle of nowhere. And so this car was behind me. Well, okay, I'm standing at the stop sign and look up in the rearview mirror, and I notice the light is under a chin, just like a white flashlight bulb, and you can see it good. It was my mama's face. I mean, it just lit up. It was meant for me to see it.
But she wasn't alive anymore, right? She wasn't alive? Or
no, she wasn't alive. She had done been dead 5 years.
Okay, wow. And, so that's crazy.
Yeah, and it just lit up. I mean, it was just like she was sitting in this car behind me. It looked just like her.
Wow.
Well, the next thing I know, it just lit up like a ball of fire.
Wow. And then what?
Disappeared. It was gone.
Oh, jeez.
I had never spoke of that night until tonight. I have never told nobody in my family.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing. You should tell them about it. You should tell them. Why not?
I don't know. Maybe one day. I just wanted to share it with you, so I felt like I needed to talk about it.
Yeah, it sounds like it was emotional for you.
Yeah. But all right, I didn't mean to open up Pandora's box.
So you're thinking
know me.
so you're thinking she was always riding you, and then there you are driving, and then she's coming up behind you again to ride, and then
yeah.
but also to say hi. Hey, this is what I used to always do too. Okay, bye. Right.
Yeah, there you go.
That's pretty funny.
As soon as she had them disco heels on, and back home.
That's funny.
There you go.
Well, hey.
Yeah, I just
thanks
wanted
for
to
telling
share it. It was a special moment or weird or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely special. But I appreciate you calling in to tell it.
I'm glad
cool.
y'all would listen.
It's now on the internet forever.
All right. Well, of course, you really didn't have no choice because you done heard it pretty much before.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Besides, you didn't want to.
I'm gonna forward it to all your family members. All right, Karen.
I don't care.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
All right.
Y'all
Thanks for
take
calling
care.
in. All right. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. That was Stephanie Kelly, longtime supporter of the channel. Okay, here we go. And this is 507. You're on the air.
Hello, Gray. My name is Amanda.
Amanda.
I've actually been meaning to call you for a long time.
Oh, yeah?
I actually posted my story in the personal paranormal chat.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, it seems like I've been so busy. I try to go in there sometimes, but I don't know. I've just been struggling getting in there. I need to get there more.
Oh, no, you're busy. That's okay.
Yeah.
I actually sent you a voice recording of a ghostly message. I don't know if you ever got it.
Oh, did you?
You might recall the story, but it kind of takes a little bit of explaining. So if it's okay, I can give you a little background.
Yeah, I think, weren't we talking about this like a long time ago? Somebody, is there a crime connection here? Sort of?
Yeah, there totally
okay.
is. So
okay, that's what
exciting.
I thought. I think I remember. Yeah, okay, yeah, so go ahead. I'll just tell your story. You just tell it the way you want to tell it. I'll just shut the hell up, okay?
Okay. Oh, no, you're fine. It's actually my first time, ever calling in, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I'll do my best. So I was in school, and I was I was a music major to start. And then, I kind of got into social work and kind of trying to find my place in that. And I found that I was really interested in the Innocence Project. And so I saw this program actually on ID Discovery called Most Evil. I don't know if you recall that. But they have this program about William Hiron. So I got really interested in his case. I read a book by Dolores Kennedy called His Day in Court. And I don't know if I want to go through all the details of his case and everything right now. But I started corresponding with him. He was incarcerated in Dixon, Illinois. So I would say that this probably started maybe 2007, 2008. We never really addressed his case or everything surrounding it, more so his personal life and his childhood, and sent me birthday cards and, never missed one of my birthdays. And a lot of the letters kind of focused on his ailing health. I think the last one I got was regarding cataracts in his eyes, and he was in the infirmary. So that being said, fast forward, it's 2012 and it's Memorial Day, and I'm actually I stopped at my mom's house, and at this point I have a 2-year-old son, and we're all getting ready for this church picnic that we go to every year for Memorial Day. And as we're getting ready, the phone rings, and the caller ID, when we all still used that a long time ago, it said that the call came from St. Pius Priory, which, didn't know what that was. So we just let it go to the answering machine. And so we're in the kitchen, and I hear this elderly man get on the answering machine. And he says, Mandy, it's 10 o'clock. I should say my name is Amanda. So he said, Mandy, it's 10 o'clock here in Chicago. Wondering if you still want to come for that visit. If so, let me know, and we'll arrange to have you picked up at the train station. So I'm kind of standing there, and I look at my mom, and she's looking at me, and all of a sudden we just jumped up, and we're like, it's William Hiron, because it sounded just like him. And I get all excited. And that said, my mom knows all about this case, too, because I've totally filled her in on, every little detail. So I call this number back, and what I was thinking as I called was that maybe he was released on compassionate care or like compassionate release where, you know, there's maybe some presumption that that inmate might be innocent and, you know, they're in their 90s or something and they're just not really a threat to anybody anymore. So they get moved to like, you know, a care facility or something. So I call this number back and this young man answers. Again, it's Memorial Day. And he's like, oh, you know, I didn't call you and there's nobody else here today, so I don't know, you know, who you got this message from. So then I hop online, you know, I type in William Hiron's name, and I find out at that point that he had passed away. And prior to that, I had no knowledge that he died. So
wow.
I just find it really interesting that
What day did he die?
I got that phone call.
Compared to the phone
you
call.
Know,
how long did he die before the phone?
That?
When did he die compared to the phone
say,
call?
You know, if I have to, I think it was in March, so I think it was, you know, months prior to that phone call. And at the time, we had sort of lost touch because, again, I had a little boy who was 2 and was out of college, and life was really busy at the time. So, you know, at that point, like I said, I think the last letter that I received from him, he was in the infirmary. So,
did you actually send me the audio of the the voice message? I don't remember ever hearing that.
I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I did send it to you. I saved it and I found it. The weirdest thing is that I saved it on this old cell phone because I recorded it, you know, holding my cell phone up to the old answering machine that I had, and this was so many years ago. But it's interesting because you can hear it, you know, plain as day, and I'll go online now and I kind of listen to interviews with him and try to compare his voice to the voice on the message. But the other weird points that I think about, you know, is he says in the message, are you ready to come for that visit? Because we used to talk about me coming down there and actually visiting with him. And he also says, if so, I'll arrange to have you picked up at the train station, which is just an unusual thing for people to say, you know, this day and age, especially because he was incarcerated in the 50s. So it's just kind of interesting to me to, you know, kind of piece together this little puzzle. But, you know, to me still, I feel like that message may have originated from him, which is really bizarre, I know. But to this day, I still have no explanation.
What did you send it to the? Maybe we can play it. Did you send it to my grayhughes2@gmail account?
Yes, I did. Yep. And my name is Amanda Statler too. So if you're looking for
maybe we
email.
can see if we can find it and play it.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if you can.
Okay, let me just see how many.
Sorry if I talked really fast, by the way. But
no, I know
it's one of those stories that you have to kind of give, you know, a little history before you tell it.
How do you spell the last name? S. Can you say
my last name?
Yeah, I mean, I want to if you.
Oh no, that's okay. It's Sattler.
Huh. And AM. Do you have it right now that you could forward it to me again? I don't see it in there.
Yeah, I totally can.
Yeah,
I'll hop back on and send it to you. And then if you don't mind, I know you're sort of like a one-story kind of person, and that was a lot to take in. But I have one more that's like really short and sweet.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So today is actually the anniversary of my dad passing away. And
sorry about that.
I was in college also. And after he passed away, I went back to college with his hat because I just missed him dearly, and it smelled like him, and, you know, all those things we do in grief. And I got up in the middle of the night. My brother was calling me. So I, you know, set the hat on my desk. I went outside to call him back. And when I came back in, I looked at the clock, and it was like 3:30. And I knew I had a final in the morning. So I just crawled back into bed and covered myself up. And I still tuck my feet under the covers. Even as a child, I still do that. And then I realized that I left the hat on the desk. And I remember thinking, you know, how great it would be if I had the hat again, but I was so tired I just had to sleep. And I close my eyes and I feel this zing like on the very bottom of my feet, and it just shoots up my whole body. And I remember thinking to myself, the hat better not be there, because if it is, I'm going to lose my mind, you know. And I look down and my dad's hat is just perfectly placed on my foot, which is, you know, since tucked under the covers and everything.
Wow.
So to me, that was just a sweet little nudge that, like, he was still there and looking over, you know. But
It's crazy.
anyway, those are two kind of crazy stories I wanted to share because I never get a chance to call in. But if you want, I will hop back online and try to forward you that message again because
Yeah, I can't
again,
even
I
find
think
it in there at all, an email. I mean, just
Yeah,
even doing
yeah.
a search. I don't know why. Maybe I never got that one.
it's a weird file name, but like I said, I'll go back into my email and just like resend it to you. And it's kind of spooky. I mean, I've listened to it so many times and I've told this story so many times. You know, there's a lot of history involved if you really get to know the case and get to know, you know, kind of who he is as a person. To me, it kind of makes sense that he would kind of call and say, you know, ready to have that visit. I'm going to pick you up at the train station, you know. So,
Yeah.
and the other part is he actually addresses me by name. And so calling back that day, and not to mention it originates from a priory, and some young guy picks up and says, you know, I'm the only one here and I never called you. So
Yeah, that's
still
bizarre.
a mystery, and it's really intriguing to me. So
Yeah, so
I
let's.
just wanted to share.
Well, cool. I appreciate sharing. So send it right now.
Okay.
I gotta play
I'll
it.
get off the phone and I will send it right now.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Thank you, Gray.
Yeah. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
And that was Amanda. Thank you for the story. And earlier, who was that? It's Stephanie Kelly again sent on PayPal. Looks like. Thank you. And let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. So there you go. And thank you everybody who's a Patreon supporter. I appreciate it. It's starting to help because YouTube ads don't pay anything. They're actually demonetizing a lot of our you know, in the true crime community, our videos are all, they're just not, it's incredible what they're doing. I mean, just absolutely regular videos, like John Lorden, for example. I can't think of one video that he's ever made that I would demonetize, but like half of his are being demonetized. And mine, you know, I'd say about the same thing. And then even when you have them reviewed, they say, yep, it's confirmed. You know, so whatever they're doing is ridiculous. Okay? Yeah. So, let's see. I'm just waiting to get that email from Amanda. Yeah, that's a crazy story. I remember her telling me about this one. I think it would actually make a good story anyways. Like, a crime story. You know, you could go into what the crime was and then this whole incident, you know. So right now I'm waiting for the email. But I wasn't going to stay on too much longer. I'll probably play that and then hit the hay, as they say. Hey, thanks, Stephanie. Yeah. I'm going to put one of these jars on my other channel too, but I got to figure out how to do it. I think I'm going to make it so it's my jar, you know? So I'm going to take what they have and then build my own outline for it or something. I don't know. It'll kind of be over the top of it. Yeah, it's definitely late if you're on the East Coast. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's probably why I didn't find it. That's a totally different name. Oh, that's actually, never mind. Yeah. See, I get people always telling me who they think the voice was that called me the other day is, and it's just nobody ever sounds like anything. I listen, and it's not it. Okay, so AS sent this, so maybe that's probably why I didn't find it, because it's AS. So here we go. Here it is.
And it's 10 o'clock a.m. here in Chicago. Just calling to say hello, and I was wondering if you were going to come down to Chicago for 2 days. If so, let me know. We'll arrange to have you picked up at the train station if that's convenient.
Huh. Say that again.
Andy, it's 10 o'clock a.m. here in Chicago. Just calling to say hello, and I was wondering if you were going to come down to Chicago for 2 days.
What does he say at the beginning of that, AS? What's annoying, Sam? I'm not reading what you're... Oh, yeah. I just wish people... I don't really care who it was that called me the other day anymore. Okay? So let's not talk about that. What does it say at the beginning of that, AS? It's hard to make out those first couple words, like right here. Amanda.
Andy, it's 10 o'clock a.m. here.
Is he saying like it's 2 o'clock or something like that?
Andy, it's 10 o'clock a.m. here in
Oh, I thought it was like 2 o'clock. Okay.
Just calling to say...
It's hard to make out the Mandy part, you know. I know that you're saying it's Mandy, but for me that's sort of like the EVP readings. I mean, maybe you heard it, but like everybody else in the chat going, "Oh, it says hi, Mandy." Well, it doesn't. It's hard to make out that it's saying that, but to me, it's like EVP readings when it goes, "Oh, look at it. It says close the deck." You know, it's hard to hear that. Let me hear it again. See, to me it sounds like, "Hi, man, chick." You know, I don't really hear the Mandy part that you're saying. Okay. Could be though. It could be, "Hi, Mandy," and, you know, underneath the breath, finishing off Mandy and says something else.
Andy, it's 10 o'clock a.m. here in Chicago.
So what did it say right there? What was that word? Yeah. Well, the thing is you probably heard it live, and it sounded better on your version. So whatever did you write down what it said? Nah. Yeah. I think people, because she already told you it says Mandy, you now think you hear that. But I do this all the time. You know, I do make mistakes on it, but I don't hear a definite Mandy. It says, "Hi, man." Look, you know, there's like, I mean, listen to it. Watch. So it says, "Hi, man, chick," like that. You know, maybe that's "Hi, Mandy." I don't really know, but I don't like when people just immediately, it's sort of like saying, "Hey, you see the dog in the clouds? See the 2 ears there and the nose?" And now everybody sees that, right? But maybe they would have seen a raccoon had they looked on their own, right? Right. So you've listened to it 1,000 times. But you probably heard the original, too. So I don't know if you wrote it all down or anything like that. I'm thinking of buying one of those EVP apps just to make jokes about it. Okay? Because now one of the YouTubers that I've been following, he just started doing EVP readings and pretending the app was saying stuff to a grieving person. And yeah, I'm not really into that. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, your name's Mandy, so you might, it could be saying that. I just don't hear the D, the D part. It's like, "Hey, man," listen to that again. Watch. See, it's like, "Hey, man, shit," like that. Hey, I wonder if I could take that and, I almost hear like a CH. Maybe he was having a couple cold ones too. We don't know. Yeah, nah, I don't agree with either of you. I think you are now. I think Love and Livin' and everybody else is hearing Mandy, I wish she hadn't said I guarantee it, none of you would have said it says Mandy had she not said that that's what it said. I would bet $100. Had she not said when she was on the air that it says Mandy, and then right here in the chat, none of you would have heard it. Okay? But instead, you hear it now because that's what you're told to hear. And it's exactly the same way those EVP reading things work. Unfortunately. Nah, I guarantee it. I guarantee it, love. You can't do the bet now because you'll never be able to repeat it again. But I guarantee it, you did not hear Mandy before. She had already told you that's what it says. So, of course, now you're saying you hear it. Right? You see the difference there? Yeah.
And it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Here, let me, is this something I can download here? Let me try something here. Yeah. Oh, where did I download it? Save file. Okay. And where's it going? Jesus. So is this going to my, let me see if it went to the download folder. Yeah. Yep, it's classic, man. You guys are all falling into the, oh, look, it's a dog pooping. Yeah, I did that on the Delphi case. Oh, look, it's a dog pooping. And it turned out it was a Desante water bottle. Okay, but a certain angle and the blurring of it, it looked like a dog pooping. Okay, but it wasn't. But of course, everybody was saying it as soon as I said, look, it's a dog pooping. See the ears? Look at it, it's right there. And everyone went, oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah. Wow, what's a dog doing out there pooping? And then I said, well, it's actually a water bottle. Okay. And then I showed the clear version of it. It's hilarious. So let's see what happens here when I'm going to try to slow it down or something. Let's see what happens. Hold on. Ah, crap. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'll play it and record it. So we're losing something by doing that, but that's just the way it is.
And it's 10 o'clock a.m. here in Chicago. Just calling to say hello, and I was wondering if you were going to come down to Chicago for 2 days. If so, let me know. We'll arrange to have you picked up at the train station if that's convenient.
Alright. Now, I'm going to slow this whole thing down. And then I'll have to adjust his pitch to get it back to what it sounded like. So if I change the speed, I'm going to make this, let's see. No, that's crazy. Hold on. Current length, new length. Okay, I need it the other direction. Alright, there you go. I want to make it like, yeah. See, it's going to be way slower, watch. And see, so this could help you guys out, but you can't hear it. It sounds like a ch sound. Alright, so now I'm going to adjust the pitch. Alright, let's see. So now, see how it sounds, has that slow sound? Now watch. Effects, amplify, hold on a second. Effects, pitch. Where is it? Change pitch. And then I'm going to, let's see what this one does. Okay, hold on. A little bit less than that. Effects, change pitch. So it's still slow, but it's just back to what he normally would have sounded like. See, that sounds like more like Nancy now, doesn't it? It's like, hey, Nancy. Take a look at watch.
10 o'clock a.m. here.
It's like, what is he saying? 2 o'clock a.m. or something like that? Hey, man, shit. See, that's what I hear too, Patty. There's like a CH sound in there. But this sound, let's see. It's like, hey, nah, shit. See, that's weird that you hear a D. Does anybody hear the D in Mandy? I hear more of a Nancy.
10 o'clock a.m.
So it sounds like you're saying like 2 o'clock a.m. I sort of hear an a.m. in there. Do you hear that? Watch right here.
10 o'clock a.m.
Like right here, this part, a.m. Doesn't that sound like a.m.? Watch.
A.m.
Or and. It could be and too, like and, you know, like a kind of a. What is this right here, though? Can you tell me what this one says? Watch. It sounds like Klingon, okay? Much toch, ach. Listen. Come on, doesn't that sound a little bit like? That's pretty cool, though. You know, because it's weird. It does sound. I think she played it for me because I did hear it sounded just like the guy. So it does sound like it is from him, right? It's almost like he's saying, hey, Nancy, 2 o'clock a.m. right here. See that? Hey, Nancy, 2 o'clock a.m. right here. Watch.
10 o'clock a.m. here.
Yeah, rear right here. Warriors, come out and play.
I was wondering if you were going to...
See, this part's crystal clear, right? But I have it sped down 50%. But I made the pitch go back. I think that's pretty amazing that you can actually do that. You slow it down where it should be, what are you? And then you get the pitch back in, and it sounds normal.
I was wondering if you were going to come down to Chicago for 2 days.
I was wondering if you were going to come down to Chicago for a few days. Eh?
2 days. If so, let me know.
If so, let me know. I mean, this part's really clear here.
2 days. If so, let me know. We'll arrange to have you picked up at the train station.
Let me know, and we'll arrange, and I'll pick you up at the train station. Eh?
We'll arrange to have you picked up at the train station if that's convenient.
And we'll arrange to have you picked up at the train station if that's convenient. See, that all is really clear shit right there. Right? This whole thing right here, right? Listen.
I was wondering if you were going
So, the only part that's in question is this first part. Yeah, like 10 a.m., something like that.
It's 10 o'clock a.m. here.
Well, this part I hear more like 2, though. Look at what.
O'clock a.m. here. 10 o'clock.
Okay, I do hear the T at the beginning here, like 10.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, he's like 10 o'clock a.m., right? Do you hear that? 10 o'clock a.m., right? Oh, boy. Love and Living can't get that Mandy out of her mind.
10 o'clock a.m. here in...
And he's saying, it's 10 o'clock a.m. here right now. And he sort of went on to something else. What I don't know what he's saying is right here, this part that sounds Klingon. Then he goes, oh, and then he goes, clears his throat, and then he has a barrage of a normal sounding sentence, right? What is Saint Pius priority? What does that mean? Like, what is it? Is that like a church, or what is that?
Just calling to say hello, and
it's amazing how clear that next part is, but this whole beginning, man.
It's 10 o'clock a.m. here. It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I hear more. I actually hear Nancy more, and a Nancy could have a ch sound, like a Nancy. Yeah, it's a little closer, but I don't hear a D sound. Okay, I really don't. All right, so, I could be wrong, because I've been wrong before on audio before.
It's 10 o'clock a.m. here.
He's like 10 o'clock a.m. here, right? And then he goes, and then he goes, and then he goes, and then has a normal sentence. I don't know what the hell this part is right here. This is kind of weird. Man, what do you think that is? Why do you want to rewatch it? Bow wow, Frazee. I don't get it. Kind of a weird comment. I'm waiting for it to end so I can rewatch. Let's see. All right. I'll end it. I'll heed her advice. Hey, I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. This channel, I don't do the flybys on it. And what else we got here? Let's see. Oh, yeah, look at that. Everything's working. Amanda Bell contributed on Super Chat. Sam the Schnoz a couple times. And then also Stephanie on the Super Chats. I mean, Streamlabs, I think it was. And I think that's it. I don't know if there's... If anybody else did, let me know. I kind of... It's hard for me to do it because it's on a whole different system. Yeah. So, hey, those were great stories tonight, everybody. Wow. Good stuff. I mean, that was... just kept going. They were all interesting. I really appreciate it. And I kind of want to get back onto the personal paranormal train like we used to do. We've done it for weeks and weeks in a row. And AS, thanks for... No, you have a good voice, AS. Don't worry about your voice. Nobody's going to care about... you're not going to... nobody's going to go, gosh, boy, that... Amanda's voice, boy, that was some strange shit there. Okay? It's a good voice. Yeah, it was a great... Yeah, that was amazing, wasn't it? So many great calls, but not that many people watching. So make sure for next time... I might change it to... I don't know. I mean, the playoffs are starting here, and I'm not missing any playoff games. Okay? So they're going to be coming up here pretty soon. So, it might be... I was thinking, does Friday work better than Sunday nights? Thanks, Jay. Go save some lives, all right? Yeah. Your voice is fine, all right? Yeah, so I might switch it over to Sundays. Sundays seems like just feels better, you know, in my mind. Because there's still, like on Fridays, there's a lot of still stuff going on in the news on true crime, and then over the weekend things kind of slow down a little bit. Then you do Sunday, then you could come, you know, something like that. So anyways, that's it, you guys. Thank you for showing up. That was one of the better ones. Everybody had normal stories, no trolls. I think I've got the Zoom set up pretty well so that when you come on, you're on mute and you are not allowed to come off of mute until I take you off of mute. And as soon as I take you off of mute, I'm ready to push the mute button again if you say anything crazy, and then I'll just hang up on you. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. So there you go. All right, everybody. Look, I appeared into the ether again. Okay. Thank you all for showing up. And as I always say, well, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with this wording on the screen. You know, I actually have people call my house because they rewatch a video and they see the number and then they dial like Skype when just during random hours. Isn't that weird? Right. Okay, everybody. That's it. And until next time, be safe out there. Yes, I'm still here. I'm still here, everybody. And now I'm not.